Hi, everyone, and welcome back to the Three Koi Fishes channel. I'm your host, Joy, and today we're diving into a topic that resonates with pretty much every parent out there, navigating the often dramatic world of kids and their desires, particularly when it comes to toys and, more importantly, how we can teach them the valuable concept of money. I'm thrilled to have with me today two wonderful mothers who bring different perspectives to the table. My dear friend Sophie, a seasoned pro who's guided her children through these financial waters, and Jocelyn, a new mom just starting to think about these crucial lessons for her little one, Leo. Welcome, ladies.
Thanks for having me, Joy. It's always great to connect and share what I've learned, sometimes the hard way.
Hi, Joy. Hi, Sophie. I'm so glad to be part of this conversation. While Leo is still young, the thought of future toy store tribulations is definitely on my radar, and I'm eager to learn how to approach it constructively.
Absolutely, Jocelyn. Proactive thinking is key. Sophie, you've successfully navigated the toy aisle with your kids. What foundational principles did you find most effective in teaching them the value of a dollar? And perhaps more importantly, how to handle those intense, I want it now moments?
Well, for us, it was a multi pronged approach, starting with the fundamental connection between effort and reward. We introduced the idea of earning money through chores relatively early, around the time they started understanding simple instructions and wanting things. It wasn't about paying them for basic responsibilities like brushing their teeth, but for contributing to the household in meaningful ways. Think of it as an introduction to the concept of work equals income.
That's an interesting distinction. What kind of chores were appropriate for different age groups? I can't quite picture a toddler earning money.
Right. For the very young ones, it's more about participation, maybe helping put away their blocks or books. As they get a little older, say around 4 or 5, you can introduce slightly more involved tasks like helping to set the table, bringing in lighter groceries, or tidying up their play area. The payment could be small, a few coins, but the act of earning is the important part. As they get older, the chores and the amounts can increase in complexity.
And how did you transition that earned money into understanding the cost of toys and making choices?
That's where the magic of the save up conversation comes in. When we were in a store and a toy caught their eye, and let's be honest, that happened frequently, we'd acknowledge their interest. Oh, that's a cool dinosaur! But then we'd gently steer the conversation towards their own resources. You've been working hard and saving your money? Do you have enough to buy it today? This immediately puts the ball in their court and introduces the concept of affordability.
I can see how that would shift the dynamic. Instead of it being a negotiation with me, it becomes a personal assessment of their own funds. What if they didn't have enough for what they wanted?
That's the perfect opportunity to teach delayed gratification. We'd say, if you really want that big fire truck, it costs more than you have right now. But we can make a plan. You can continue to do your chores and save up until you have enough. We even created simple visual charts sometimes, a picture of the toy with boxes next to it, and each time they earned a certain amount, they could color in a box. It made the saving process tangible.
The visual chart is brilliant. It provides a concrete representation of their progress towards their goal. And I imagine that anticipation builds excitement in a different way than just instant gratification.
Absolutely. It teaches patience and the understanding that some things are worth working towards. Did you ever set limits or guidelines on what they could save for?
We generally let them save for what they wanted within reason, of course. We might have a conversation if it was something wildly expensive or inappropriate, but for the most part, the process of saving and making their own choice was the valuable lesson. It also made them more invested in their decision. When they finally had enough to buy that coveted toy, they had put in the effort, and they were so much more thoughtful about their purchase.
That's so true. When they're spending their own money, they become much more discerning. They weigh their options, consider how much they really want it, and are less likely to just grab something impulsively. We've seen that lead to them taking better care of their possessions too.
That makes perfect sense. If they've worked for it, they're going to value it more. What about the actual allowance? When did you start that, and how did it tie into the chores and saving?
We started a small weekly allowance around the time they entered first grade. It was a set amount tied to the general expectation of contributing to the household, keeping their rooms tidy, helping with meal prep in simple ways. The chore money was for going above and beyond those basic expectations. The allowance provided a small, regular income they could then choose to spend or save.
So, the allowance provided a foundation for learning about budgeting and making regular financial decisions, while the chore money offered opportunities to earn more for specific goals. That's a great system.
That clarifies things a lot. So it's not just about avoiding toy store tantrums, but about building a fundamental understanding of how money works, the value of effort, and the importance of making choices.
And it empowers kids. It gives them a sense of control and agency over their desires, rather than feeling powerless and resorting to tears in the toy aisle. It shifts the dynamic from conflict to collaboration in understanding financial realities.
This has been incredibly insightful. I feel much more prepared to approach these conversations with Leo as he grows. It's not just about saying no, but about guiding him through the process of wanting, earning, and choosing.
Remember, consistency is key, and there will still be moments of frustration. But by sticking to these principles, you're giving your children invaluable life skills.
Absolutely. Teaching the value of money is a journey, not a destination. Thank you so much, Sophie and Jocelyn, for sharing your wisdom and practical tips. And thank you to our wonderful viewers for joining us today. We hope these strategies help you navigate the world of kids and their wants with a little more peace and a lot more learning. For our experienced parents watching, what strategies have you found effective in reducing those toy store meltdowns? Please share your techniques with our community in the comments below. And remember to hit the like and subscribe button. Join us next time for more parenting insights.